Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week. This is for January of 2025. You have this Come to the Edge card, which I'm pretty sure you've been getting this same message with me for a while, and this To Be Fair card. So that To the Edge card, or Come to the Edge card, it kind of represents, pushing yourself that just a little bit further. It says, it's the card that says, you get to this point in your life where you're not sure if you can go any further, and it just represents going just a little bit further. So it kind of says, push yourself to that point where you'd normally give up on something, and then just go a little bit more and see what happens. And you have two cards right here that kind of say the same thing. The Chariot, he is leaving the city behind him and he's setting himself apart. And the Come to the Edge card can represent, setting yourself apart. And the Three of Wands, he is standing at the edge of this hill that he's standing on top of, and he's looking out at the water in front of him. And on that water, there are three boats, which kind of represent adventure or the opportunity for expansion and growth in his life. And, again, it's pretty obvious, but the only way we can grow is to push ourselves a little bit further, right? The only way we can get more out of life, it's like lifting weights. You can't lift the same amount of weight every single day and expect your muscles to grow. Eventually, you have to increase the weight. And I'm sure some exercise scientist is going to tell me how I'm wrong, but this is a metaphor. So I'm sure some nerd exercise scientist will tell me, oh, you can lift a pencil and grow your muscles. Okay, great. I'm talking about the majority of people here. So you have the Nine of Wands, the Chariot, and the Eight of Cups. The Nine of Wands definitely says don't give up. So whatever you're working on here, with that Come to the Edge card, again, this is saying, push yourself. I think we have to be careful in how we push ourselves right now because of mostly Mars retrograde. So we should be pushing ourselves, but there's a difference between like pushing yourself and burning yourself out, right? So you have that To Be Fair card, which is saying balance, and make sure that if you are pushing yourself that you're not, kind of like burning yourself out or getting too tired. So we're talking about, like I said, just a little bit past that point where you would normally give up. We're not talking about, doing something crazy here. So, do it in balance. You have the Chariot. The Chariot can represent a victory or a big win, and I do kind of feel like there is some sort of win coming in for you. We go over to the Wheel of Fortune, Six of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is showing up in the area of the good stuff, so it's going to be good no matter what. And the Ten of Swords and the good stuff can represent a blessing in disguise. So for some of you, there definitely could be an ending. I mean, he's on the Chariot. He is leaving that city behind him. So again, he is ending something or leaving something behind on the card. And, the Ten of Swords basically says the same thing. The Six of Swords, they're leaving the other side of the calmer or of the choppy waters behind, right? And they're hopefully going to calmer shores. And you have the Three of Wands, which can represent leaving something behind. The Eight of Cups next, which can represent leaving something behind. So I definitely feel you're kind of like walking away from something. But obviously it would be a good thing in this reading. Again, he's walking away from these Eight Cups because they no longer fulfill him. And he doesn't really know where he is going. Some people say he's walking towards fulfillment, which could be true. But we don't, he doesn't know that. He doesn't know where he's going. He's walking in darkness. He is just hoping that he can find fulfillment, but he's walking away from those Eight Cups because he knows that something isn't right. And so the Eight of Cups is saying that if you're walking away from something that isn't right, then that is a good thing. Obviously, that's what we should be doing. I always look at the Eight of Cups, as a card of not settling or needing to make sure that you're not settling in some situation in your life. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Ace of Cups. You have the Ace of Cups here twice. And again, as I always say to you, Taurus, it's definitely a time for Taurus to follow their heart. I mean, it's like the number one message you've been getting with me all year. And, your heart is telling you to do one thing. Your head might be telling you to do something different, but I think that you following your heart is going to create this flow. I look at the Eight of Cups as a card of like unlimited flow. The Ace of Cups can easily reach down into this water below it, and it can fill itself back up. So, it's not, again, speaking of hard work, it's not doing something that requires a ton of effort, right? It just has to go like this, right? And so I think when you get into the flow, your life basically gets better. With the Chariot, yes, you have the Ten of Swords, definitely leaving something behind. We have the Ten of Swords twice now. this could be like a question that's in your mind, like, should I leave something behind? The funny thing is, with the Ten of Swords in the, basically this outcome row, the good stuff, it would basically say that you are, whatever you're thinking about walking away from, you're probably just going to walk away from it. So, this could be one of those decisions that you're thinking about that you're just going to make in the future anyway. So, there you go. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Three of Swords. I would definitely watch your health. I think everybody needs to watch their health during Mars retrograde. Again, Mars retrograde, can suck our energy, or people can get injured during Mars retrograde and things like that. So I always tell people, don't be paranoid about it, but just, watch your health. For some of you, you could be afraid that you're going to break your own heart if you walk away from something. And again, I don't even think this is love. I think some of you are looking to upgrade your fortunes, really, because we go up to the Wheel of Fortune here. And so this could be like walking away from a job, or, changing something in your work, which has come up for you before. And, again, it looks like a good thing. Next, we're going to look at what to do to have the best start in 2025. So these are actions that you can take. You have this path to knowledge. It says you're journeying into the realm of knowledge to assist in your personal growth. Three of Wands for sure. You have this overcoming challenges. It says a triumph will bring great changes. Let yourself be open to victory. Yes. So Chariot is a victory, and the Chariot can definitely be a card of overcoming a challenge. So I think that a lot of you are overcoming challenges and you are finding success. The challenge could just be the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands, the story of this card is he's looking at that water, and that water is golden in color, and he thinks he's looking at the desert. But when he looks closer, he sees those ships on the ocean, and he realizes that there's an opportunity there. So he is, his initial impression of the opportunity is that there is no opportunity because nothing grows in the desert. But when he takes a second look, he realizes that there is a big opportunity. I've been saying it all year that 2024, I think, was like a back to the drawing board year, where if you started something, maybe you had to go back to the drawing board and like redo it, or change it in some way. And I kind of feel for like at least the first half of 2025, I'm not sure that we're going to necessarily have to keep doing that for 2025, but maybe for like the first 4 or 5 months, somewhere around there. If you're working on something, like, don't give up. Chances are like the first 2 things that you try aren't going to work, but I do believe that if you keep pushing, you're really going to get more out of the situation. You're really going to be able to develop some, amazing things from what you learn, or from what you go through, or whatever, right? And I just really want to push people to do that, because I understand how frustrating it can be to work on something that doesn't work, and then you have to keep doing stuff. But again, I think the results will be worth it, so I would keep going. You have the Wheel of Fortune here, and again, the Wheel of Fortune as far as an action is concerned, because again, in this row, we're looking at what you can do to have the best start to the year. The Wheel of Fortune is about paying attention to the good things and the challenges that pop up in your life. With the good stuff, we want to, double down on those wins and create more wins. With the challenges that pop up, we want to take care of them as quickly as we possibly can to get rid of them. And so if you do that with the Wheel of Fortune, then you are taking control of your destiny, basically. I would also say that we have this snake over here. The snake can represent your vibrations, so staying positive, giving off good vibes could help. But the snake is also a guardian of the portal, and snakes kind of represent fears. So sometimes I think with the Wheel of Fortune, we have to face some sort of fear to get what we want. And again, you have this come to the edge card. It's like, do I invest more time into this project that kind of is working but kind of isn't working? Do I invest more time into this job or this person or whatever? And only you can answer that question. But if you really want something, I feel like this is saying, face that fear of giving something just a little bit more effort, because, clearly that will change your fortunes. I really feel like you're upgrading your fortunes. I don't know. That was like the word that I was getting going this way in the reading. So I think that this is some sort of like upgrading your fortunes. I'm still not exactly sure what that means, but there you go. You have the Ace of Cups, again, getting into the flow. Pretty sure I've said this to you before, because I'm pretty sure, Taurus, that you have had readings with me where I've been telling you that, if I were a Taurus, the thing that I would be doing is looking at friction and removing as much friction as I possibly can. I like to simplify the messages that I receive. And, kind of just like if I just boil down everything that you've dealt with all of 2024, I think the best activity for Taurus would be to look at those places in life where you have friction, where things slow down, or where you're stuck, and to really like study those things and find a better way to do things, or remove those things completely. There might be habits or people or situations that really slow you down. And again, sometimes there are just things that slow us down that we can't remove, of course, but it's like, how can you how can you make it the best you possibly can? And I think that would be really good for you in the beginning of the year. With the Three of Wands, you have the Page of Wands. I would be more adventurous. Every person is getting these cards of being adventurous at the end of 2024, but also, for these readings in 2025. So it seems to me like it could be a little bit of a time of adventure, or, going on adventures, or whatever you want to call it. So there you go. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have two cards here. You have the High Priestess and the Four of Cups. The High Priestess is about trusting your intuition, and you also have the High Priestess twice in this reading. I'll show you in a minute. And the Four of Cups can represent past disappointment. So again, like I said, that back to the drawing board thing, it can be very disappointing, to have to go back to the drawing board. But, I think this is saying, like, don't give up. Like I said, on the Nine of Wands in the first whole row, I kind of feel like it's saying you're very close. Like, don't give up on what you're doing, and see how you can get more out of your situation. And, that's what I would do here. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is juggling, spinning plates, doing a lot. So again, I wouldn't, and I think this is true for a lot of people right now, but, I wouldn't just be working right now. I would make sure that the work that you're doing is worth it, or, I would make sure that you're not kind of, carrying responsibilities, kind of like the Ten of Wands energy. Even though you don't have the Ten of Wands here, I kind of get that energy from the reading, where it's like saying, make sure that you're not carrying things that are not your own. And, I think that will, the Ace of Cups, again, really wants us to be in the flow. So, that's what I would do there. Next, we're going to look at, the challenges that you could be facing in January 2025, and how you can get ahead of those challenges. You have this Heal card and this Commit card. Could literally just be saying, commit to your healing, which is also something that has been coming up for you, Taurus. So I think it would be a great time to heal. This could include improving your health, or getting healthy, or could improve your mental health, or whatever it is. I would commit to that healing. I think that will help you the most. The other interesting thing is that this Commit card, it kind of looks like a sun, in the middle of the card there. And we have it could be a sunflower, right? And we have the Queen of Wands, who's holding the sunflower. And the Queen of Wands, she moves towards the sun. So the sunflower points towards the sun, and that's what she uses to guide her on her journey. And so I think moving towards joy and happiness would be very good for you. I also think, like, not caring what people think about what you're doing in life is going to be important for Taurus. She has this black cat right here. And during the times of tarot, black cats were considered unlucky. And, the whole point of the black cat on her card is that she doesn't care what anyone thinks. She just is going to do what she wants to do. She just likes the cat. That's it. And so I think that you need to develop that attitude. Like, if you like doing something, and even if other people don't like it, who cares? As long as it's not, hurting them in some way, right? And I think that you need to realize that you are kind of on your own journey. Next, you have the Six of Swords. Again, the funny thing is you don't really have any challenges here. I don't really feel that there are very many challenges at the beginning of the year. Six of Swords could be, moving on to calmer shores. So, part of the challenge could be releasing something or letting go of something. It could also be with the Chariot about setting yourself apart. It doesn't really surprise me because, to me, the Pluto going into Aquarius, which happened at the end of 2024, it is really all about setting yourself apart, being unique. I think people think of Aquarius as a collective, but, that doesn't mean we should become, part of some sort of hive mind, like AI, where, all becoming robots that believe the same thing. We should be setting ourselves apart. We should be trying to stand out. And I think that, that can be a challenge, right? Because if you stand out, then you open yourself up to criticism. Usually people who stand out get criticized, or, people who do anything important in life do face, challenges from, other people. So I think that you have to take the risk of standing out, and you might have to kind of like face the risk of being criticized for, your beliefs, or for setting yourself apart or doing something unique. And that's definitely popping into my head. With the High Priestess, again, showing up in your reading, I think that you also need to really listen to that intuition. Again, I think that, maybe you are getting intuitive messages, but you're not really kind of like hearing them, or you're not paying attention to them. So, but really, it's kind of like I have a test popping into my head, like in school, and I feel like this is saying, you need to trust those like first gut instincts that you get about everything that you're doing in the month of January. I feel like your first intuitive gut instinct on, everything is going to be correct. But, as a challenge, it's kind of just saying to me that you could be second guessing yourself on your intuition, or you could be saying like, oh, that's not really a sign, or that's not really my intuition, but it actually is. So, I would be trusting your intuition here for sure. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Two of Cups. This could be love for some of you. These monthly readings aren't really meant to be love readings. Again, we're looking at challenges that you could face. And I do read Two of Cups as you and your higher self. So your higher self could be trying to communicate with you. And again, the challenge could be listening to your higher self. It's funny that at the beginning of the reading, I said that, it's like your head could be telling you to do one thing, but your heart could be telling you to do something else. And Two of Cups could definitely be that. Like your heart and your higher self could be guiding you in a direction that might not exactly make sense, but, that is the direction I would move in. With the Six of Swords, you have the Queen of Wands again. Yes, again, the Queen of Wands is setting herself apart. She's my card of learning as you go, where it's like you could be starting a journey where you have to learn on your own. And so I think that is a challenge, and that is definitely something you could be doing. With the High Priestess, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Definitely trust your intuition. The Ace of Pentacles is just an opportunity that has potential. So for a lot of you, this could say that you're receiving an opportunity that you're going to have to trust your intuition on, but it might not look like much with that Three of Wands. Sometimes I think we get opportunities where, like at first glance, Three of Wands, we don't really see the potential, but, if we look closer, there is potential. So if you're getting any opportunities that you're kind of like, I wonder, about this, then I would dig into it. I'll give you an example. My dad told me about Bitcoin in like 2010, 2011, somewhere around there, when it was like $30 or like $10 or something like that, right? He had some super nerd friend that told him about Bitcoin. And I remember thinking like, damn, that is a good idea. Like I could see the future of this, right? But did I buy any? No, I didn't, right? And his friend is probably on some yacht in Dubai, right? Probably a billionaire, right? At this point. So, it's like I didn't listen to my intuition, And so I think that, this could be an opportunity where you kind of just think to yourself, this seems like a good idea. And I would just educate yourself. Again, I always tell people like, you don't even have to invest in anything. And I'm not talking about investments here, but I'm talking about like energetically. But if you get an idea and you kind of think it's a good idea, then I would at least learn about it. Take some time to educate yourself on it, because you never know. If I took the time to learn about Bitcoin at that time, maybe I would have thrown a couple $100 at it, right? So, there you go. And that's what I would do there. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Dragonfly Spirit says, truth transcends illusion. You have this Brown Bear Spirit says, take time out. Yes, definitely. It's coming up in the good stuff. So the Brown Bear kind of represents preparation in healing, and healing shows up a lot in this reading. So I would definitely pay attention to your healing. I also think that we're in a time of truth. So, there's going to be a lot of truths that are being exposed. You have the Three of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. Three of Cups can be a celebration. These three ladies are celebrating a harvest that's going on around them. So there definitely could be some sort of harvest that's coming into your life here with the Three of Cups. I also think it would be just a great time. It seems to me like the beginning of the year is a really good time for socializing, and the end of the year as well. So if you're watching this in December, I think socializing, spending time with the right people would be a really good idea. You have the Ten of Swords. Again, Ten of Swords and the good stuff is like fortune after difficulty, or you making the right decision to leave something behind. But, sometimes we don't see that it was the right decision until the future. He's making this symbol with his hand right here, and it represents a blessing. It's the same symbol that the Hierophant is making on his card. So a lot of you, this could be some sort of blessing in disguise. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is fulfillment. And again, with the Eight of Cups, we don't act, he doesn't know that he's walking towards the Eight of Cups. So, this basically confirms that you are walking towards fulfillment going this way. And, obviously, that's a good thing. With the Three of Cups, you have the Five of Swords. This could be some sort of reunion, and this could not like love. I think this could be a person or a group of people where you're having a reunion. This could even be like making up with a friend or something like that, and that's definitely popping into my head. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Hangman. Sorry, I dropped it. And the Hangman is gaining enlightenment. So he's been on pause for a very long time. And, again, I think sometimes when we go back to the drawing board, it feels like we are on pause because nothing is really nothing is like moving forwards or backwards. We're kind of in this limbo state, and showing up in the good stuff, this could say that you are finally progressing, finally moving forward. With the Nine of Cups, love it. You have the Empress, really good, Taurus. This would represent total abundance, total success. It would also represent kind of like that flow that I was talking about. So I think getting into the flow would be a good idea. It would also represent you. So, that kind of puts you in a position of strength. You have this dark woman. It says dealings or relationships with a woman with dark complexion or hair. You have this hammock. It says taking a vacation physically or mentally. This could just be you. Sometimes I feel these people cards are just saying you. Even if you're not a woman, it could just be you. And I think, taking breaks is going to be important for you at the end, the very beginning of the year. You have this pineapple. It says reconciliation. Yeah, I really do feel that on the Three of Cups. I don't think this is a lover. I think that this is like family or a friend that maybe you had a falling out with, or maybe not. Maybe you just, drifted away from a person and now you're kind of reconnecting. And so some of you, I do feel this like reconnection energy on that Three of Cups. You have this angel. It says spiritual guidance, protection from harm. So you are protected at this time. You have this November card. I always clarify these cards. You have this tent. It says temporary situation. So if you've been dealing with any issues since November, you could be overcoming those issues. And your last card here is this career card. So definitely could be some improvements in your career, or you could be setting yourself apart in your career with the Chariot, which I also think would be a really good idea. So not much to say, Taurus. Really good reading. Love it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.